particular time. I can assure you that Japan is safe, that you will be fine, but most important is that you are representing the United States at a very incredibly important period. As you know, the U.S.-Japan relationship became that much closer than it already was in the aftermath of March 11th, in part because of what the United States did to help our friends here in Japan during their time of need. But the crisis is not over, and each of you going out in all of the different areas of Japan will continue to work with the Japanese as they continue to confront the aftermath of March 11th. So your role is particularly important at this time. And I will also tell you that there is particular focus on the JET program right now. As others have mentioned before me, the only two Americans that we lost in the earthquake and the tsunami were JET members. And the Japanese know that and are particularly appreciative of not only Taylor Anderson and Monty Dixon, but all of the JET members that are out in the field throughout Japan. So there will be particular focus on what you will be doing in the months and years to come because of the aftermath of March 11th and the death of two very special Americans. So that creates much more of a challenge and much more of a responsibility for each of you who are here today. Let me just point out a couple other things, and then I want to open it up to questions and talk about anything that you want to talk about. First of all, you may not know it right now, but you're beginning a lifelong bond with the country of Japan. I was not a JET member, but one of the first things I noticed in coming to Japan is how incredibly important this program is and the lifelong commitment that it does result in JET members. We have 19 in the embassy, I believe, give or take a few, including Matt Fuller, who is my special assistant. And I went to his community with him where he worked as a JET member. And I just saw the immediate, deep connection between him and the people there that he spent 2 years of his life living with. And I know Matt became a lifelong convert to Japan and the Japanese people and the U.S.-Japan relationship. So while you may not know it right now, you are beginning a lifelong bond with this country. And it's not only, by the way, resulted in members of our embassy, some of the most senior people in government in the United States who determined the policy of the United States towards the country of Japan have been former JET members. So the opportunities and where you go from here is really limitless. Let me also just end by saying most of you here are going to be working with young kids and teaching them English, and that's incredibly important. One of the things I've been saying all throughout Japan is that we live in a global world. You need to compete globally, and English, for like it or not, has become the global language. And that doesn't mean giving up the Japanese language or any other country's language, but it does mean that English is much more important. So you're going to be working with a lot of young kids in that area, and it is incredibly important to the future of this country. Also, something that's incredibly important is the fact that fewer and fewer Japanese kids are coming to the United States to study. The numbers are going like this, and you're going to hear there are many reasons for that. One is a declining population. But there are other reasons. Because there are other opportunities, China, other parts of Asia, other parts of the world. But you're also going to hear that there are fears about coming to the United States to study. Some kids think and parents think it's not safe. Others will tell you that they can't afford to come to the United States and study. A whole myriad of reasons you're going to be hearing in the communities in which you work. But it's critically important that you work to overcome those hurdles and that you let these young people and their parents know that all of us, all of you in this room, us at the embassy, our leadership in Washington, are there to help overcome these hurdles and get these kids to come to the United States. Because just as you are coming here to Japan, that will create this lifelong bond, we need the Japanese coming to the United States that will create a similar bond. And when push comes to shove, the relationship between Japan and the United States, both strategically and economically, is the most important relationship in this part of the world. And the Asia-Pacific region in the 21st century will account for over half of the global economy. So what you are doing at the grassroots level, I can't emphasize enough, is incredibly important. So let me end right there. Again, congratulate you, thank you, and why don't I take some questions, and please feel free to ask me whatever you want. If there's any media here, this is all off the record.